there was one moment that really stuck out to me, and that was at Nitro World Games. And here comes Pat Bowden, who I'd watched doing a whole bunch of tricks. Like, you were working on tricks for Nitro World Games. I'm like, this is going to be fucking big. And you turned up with an all-white bike. You were all white, and you just had "Send It" written on your fuel tank. There were no sponsors. There were no graphics. There was nothing but "Send It." And I was like, holy shit. Like, this is one of the biggest stages in our sport, and you don't have a single sponsor on there. Was that like a massive fuck you to everyone? Like, you didn't have anything on there.
That's pretty funny. Now you even say that. Like, I never even thought of it like that. Because, like, I'll explain how it all happened, but it's interesting to hear the outside perspective on that.
Okay, so I was wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah, it wasn't really a fuck you statement or anything like that. To be completely honest with you, the way that it happened was, what was it? So this is from my limited memory after hitting my head so many times, but so Canvas MX, which is my longtime gear sponsor, they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we love you, love what you're doing. We want to like look after you with some gear, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, dope." So I was working with them for a bit, and then I was like, "Hey, I've got this event coming up. Can you send me some gear?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll send you some gear." The only problem is we're like still at the current time we're sorting out like a new manufacturer, and we've only got blank white gear. And I'm like, I was like, just send whatever you've got. I don't really even care. Just send whatever. So I got this white gear in the mail, and then I'm like, well, I can't just wear white gear. I kind of needed to make it match the bike. So I just got a white plastics kit. And then I'm like, this is kind of cool. So then I just hit up this local graphics company in Temecula, and I was like, I designed, because I'm a graphic designer, I just whipped together this real quick kit, and I'm like, fuck it. I won't put any logos on there. I'll just send it on there. Because it's kind of relatable to the event that I'm about to do. And then, yeah, like I did the event, and I saw the footage. I'm like, that's pretty cool, actually. I'm going to try this in Europe. Because I remember, like, my whole thing was I was always black and like dark colors. But I remember like getting the footage and the photos back from the events I would do in Europe, which are always like in indoor stadiums, and I could never really see myself I'd get lost in the background and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to try this in Europe. And then I did it over there, and I was like, the photos came out super crisp. I'm like, this is sick. I'm going to do this. This is going to be my thing. So I just ran it ever since. And yeah, it was kind of like my thing, I guess. But it kind of was it was honestly just an accident the way that it come about. I didn't really set out to do it. But in hindsight, I'm glad that it happened, because it definitely helped me just kind of build my own image and separate myself from everyone else.
Man, that sucks. I'm wrong. I'm normally pretty fucking right. I was like, yeah, because up until then, yeah, you were wearing all different gear. You got the sponsor logos, and then you go into the biggest event. So I was looking at it from a manager's point of view at the time, and I'm like, he has just gone fuck you all, because I'm going to do this event, and there's so much TV and nobody's helping. And I was like, yep, good one, Pat. That was nice. And you just told me it was a complete accident.
Well, actually, now you mention it, I do remember vaguely thinking, I do remember thinking like I had a few sponsors at the time, which I still do have a few sponsors, but I remember thinking, for what I'm doing and the amount of work that I'm putting in preparation to get here and doing these events, the payoff isn't worth it. And I'm like, I'm going to run, like, that particular year, I didn't really run any logos, but now I still have an all white setup. But if you look closely, I still have logos on my bike and on my rear fender and stuff. But it's like for the effort that I'm putting in traveling, it's 40 hours one way from Australia to Europe. And I do that like, I don't even know how many times a year one way. So imagine both ways. It's like hundreds of hours on a plane, let alone the practice and the preparation and then doing the events. I'm like, if someone wants to be promoted on my bike, like, it's got to really be worth it for me. And I'm not going to run logos for free. And it's like, unless you want to pay me what I want, I'm not going to really put a massive logo on my bike. So, and I'm happy with the amount of effort that I'm putting in. Like, I'm earning my own money off my own efforts. And I'm happy just to do my own thing. Like I don't need to just like everyone else is running energy drink logos and stuff. Like I don't really need to do that. I don't need. I don't know, man. Like I'm an individual and I just do my own thing and like I'm easy going. Like I'm not like trying to make a statement or anything like that. If someone wants to sponsor me, I'll happily run a logo. But I also want to be like, um, I want to make it worthwhile, you know. So up until when it's worthwhile, I'm happy doing my thing.